Yes, hello and welcome to the Chartreuse Q. Alright, so getting into this color, let's just start off with like what terrorism is, who's a terrorist, because technically anyone who's against the powers that be, the all oppressive, almighty governments is a terrorist, like Che Guevara. He was a terrorist, and then he was a revolutionary because, I mean, don't forget the revolutionaries become the conservatives when they win. So let's talk about terrorism and who funds this stuff. Let's talk about Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, and I'm just going to call him Al-Tali just to save time. So Al-Tali and all the rest of the cabal, they've been the main force funding terrorism and just like keeping everyone in fear to constantly have their wars, which is, why you would constantly be doing this, and also to never let a good emergency or just act of what the hell go to waste. So they will, stage these things and then pass their own legislation to solve the problems that they created in the first place. Beyond that, you got like ISIS. So what does ISIS stand for? It stands for the Israeli Secret Intelligence Service, which is modeled after the British Secret Intelligence Service, which is the MI6. So I mean, you got like Al Qaeda, for example. Like we trained the Mujahideen. But I mean, it's not just like physical weaponized terrorism. There's also like social terrorism, like Taharushka Mia, the rape game going on in Europe with all like the migrant crisis and all the rape refugees and all that jazz. And then you also got like terrorism in Africa. I mean, like the Somali pirates, remember them? You got stuff in Australia, not surprisingly. There are economic terrorists. There's a lot of psychological terrorism that goes on, especially with the false flags, and it doesn't even have to be some guy with a fake beard wearing nondescript rags from a war zone. Like, all people in war zones just kind of look alike eventually. It's like, what's around. Let's just use that. So, I mean, like the terrorism. So, like they'll bring in terrorists to start wars, to oppress people further, to crack down, and to just keep everyone living in terror because we have nothing to fear but fear itself. And when you're fighting an imaginary foe or a nameless foe or someone you can't point to and say, that's the guy, well then it's a never-ending battle. Now isn't it? And that's the goal. Thank you for listening.